God called Samuel to be a prophet, to be his spokesman, and also to manifest his will to the people of Israel. Thus, when God wanted to appoint a king for his people, he sent prophet Samuel. It was Samuel who anointed King Saul and King David. And we know that King Saul disobeyed God. And for that reason, Samuel had to tell him those famous words, obedience is better than sacrifice. On the other hand, King David obeyed God and did what God wanted, and that's why he's a great king. King Saul had good intentions, but his actions were rejected by God because he failed to execute what God wanted him to do. And my dear brothers and sisters, this is a lesson to all of us, especially those of us who are in leadership, whether national leadership, even religious leaders, that we have to make our decisions always in the presence of God in order for them to be in accordance with God's will. As the saying goes, if the Lord does not build the house, in vain does the laborers labor. So we see in the life of Samuel, because of his closeness to God, he was very successful in all he did and said. What he said was accomplished because God was with him. God made his words powerful and effective, and all that the prophet did and said came to fulfillment. When I look at all of us gathered here today, it's because of that closeness with God. That's what we are seeking. And we know that that is the secret to the success which we are looking for. Why? Because God never loses battles. Else with him will emerge successful in all the battles of our lives, in all the battles we are fighting, because we are not using our power, but God's power, God's help. We read in the letter of St. Paul to the Romans, chapter 8, verses 31 to 32. If God is with us, who can be against us? Certainly not God, who did not even keep back his own son, but offered him for us all. He gave us his son. Will he not also freely give us all things? Ikiwa Mungu yuko upande wetu, nani awezaye kutupinga? Mungu hakumhurumia hata mwanawe wa pekee, bali alimtoa kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Ikiwa amefanya hivyo, je, hata kujalia pia mema yote? Ni nani atakaye wastaki wateule wa Mungu? So, my dear brothers and sisters, this assurance of God's presence and blessings upon us is assurance that all our dreams, expectations will be fulfilled in accordance with his will. For nothing is impossible with God. That is why it is wonderful for us to be here, all of us. This is an interdenominational prayer. All our leaders are here. It is wonderful that we are here to pray together for ourselves and for our nation, to pray for our president who is here, and all our leaders and our country. And as we have heard in that reading, prayer is about listening to what God is telling us. Not words, but to listen. What is he really telling us? So, what is God telling you and me today? As we gather here in Iten, the headquarters of Elgeyo Marakwet, we cannot fail to think of our brothers and sisters in Kerio Valley. who are really being killed and terrorized by bandits